everyone. How are you guys doing? He's gonna fix it. Sorry, I look like a hot mess, but we've been working hard today. I just came in from the garden and I've got watermelons, y'all.
I'm excited about the watermelons. We got the little bitty ones.
The personal size. So if you can see us or hear us, let us know.
And let us know about the quality of the video, because I think I forgot to turn off your Wi-Fi. I think we're streaming on the house Wi-Fi. So we need to fix that for 1 second.
Pause.
Yes. Because
that's not how you do it though.
I need.
Uh-oh. I don't know how to fix that.
I think that was it. Yes. So hopefully the quality's better. I was actually connected to our house Wi-Fi, and our house Wi-Fi sucks. It's got like an upload speed of like 0.5 megabytes. So cell phone service is a lot better signal. So hopefully it's coming in clear for you guys. And we've got lots of people already in the chat. So thank y'all so much for tuning in so early. And
we are trying to do this a little more often. A lot of people keep emailing us, asking about, liquidation, asking for advice. And we want to get some advice from you guys too about some things that we want to do, just to be able to be more involved with the community, more helpful. And so, yeah, we can help each other out. You know what I'm saying? So, yes.
Hello to Cajun and Word Vendor 1. Used to cover Conway for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't know if you still live in Arkansas or if you're no longer in Arkansas. Just let us know.
That's awesome. I love Arkansas too.
Hello, Nikki T. Nikki T was here early today also. And how do you say that? Uncle Bo Nose is here.
Solid Tad. I'm terrible with names.
Yes, and the bargain effect, bargain.
Bargain.
I don't know
What's up, bargain?
My brain does that. And so hello, Rick, Stacy, and Jose, all the way from Miami.
Stacy, we love having you with us in our lives.
And Pallet Jackin is in the house, along with Brooke. So
very cool.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new people, a lot of new subscribers. Our channel, if you've been with us for a while, which some of you have, our channel's been like
like steady going,
putting along. And then this last month, we've gained like 1,200 subscribers in the last month, which is crazy. So we're very appreciative. Lots of new names, lots of people commenting on videos. So I've been enjoying dialoguing with everybody. So if you have subscribed in the last month, put that down in the comment section. I just want to thank you guys and recognize y'all. So, Missouri.
Okay. Missouri is also nice.
Yes, I was made in Missouri.
Stop.
Don't.
Why
in Kansas City. My parents are from that area. I was imported to the South from the Midwest. We're all adults here. Our analytics say that, we don't have anybody under the age of 18 watching the channel. So it's like, millennials, Last week we talked about Zoomers, which is Centennials. Jessica's like, why are we talking about this? But this is just how we go. Which Centennials, they're called Zoomers now, which is okay. I'm okay with that. And then Millennials, Gen X, Baby Boomers, and then I forget who's left of the other generation after Baby Boomers, but they're, they don't watch our channel. So, but Millennials, y'all have been coming on strong lately the last month. Y'all are like taking on the Gen Xers for #1 in analytics. So thank you.
And Rick, I totally understand. You just want to know what you're getting into before you subscribe, but I'm thankful that we won you over. That's really cool. Very exciting.
I do the same thing. It's like the subscribe button is like a sacred thing to me. It's like, I don't want to just subscribe to you because everybody else is doing it. Like, I want to watch for a little while to know, because I get tired of stuff. and I like new stuff. You know, for us, it's hard. Like, we try to keep it somewhat new, and as far as like the movie makings, the cinematography side, to try and keep you engaged.
Does anybody else notice that he says cinematography?
Cinematography. My words.
I just think it's cute.
I mess a lot of my words up.
I'm pointing it out because I think it's cute.
One, I'm slightly dyslexic. I've never taken the test, but I'm always mixing up all the letters. And I've heard, I don't know, I read about it in a book. It was probably a news article or something, that those people, like, they have problems with words and pronunciation stuff. So that's me. Hey, it happens. It happens.
So for those of you who do not know, I want to make sure to let everyone know right off the bat that we are going to be on A&E's Extreme Unboxing, and that premieres on Tuesday night, August 4th. And that is at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So that would be 9 p.m. Central time.
Hello, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. I talked to her on Facebook. We had a good time.
Yeah. You are from the Dallas area.
Yep.
I remember. You bought a box of shoes and some other stuff. I remember.
So we are part of that. We are part of that TV show. Just want to let everybody know. But one of the big things that we've been, even before the TV show, is we have been pallet flippers, pallet liquidators. We've bought truckloads, we've bought individual pallets. We've had great experience, not so great experiences, and we still have not so great experiences because that is just how liquidation is.
That's the way it goes.
I know, and I want to also address this for people who may have missed it. Those of you there are a lot of people in the reselling community that are very concerned about this show that is about to come out. And so I want to talk about that for just a second. I know we talked about this a little bit last week for those of you who are here. So I'm going to just kind of get this out of the way so we can talk about it. And then we've got some questions. And if you guys have questions and
we do.
Small talk, we love the small talk.
Yes.
So we'll continue doing all of that. But yes, some people have been asking directly and indirectly what we think about how the market is going to be for pallet liquidation once the show goes live. Do I believe that the prices of pallets are going to go up? And straight answer, probably. Yes, I do believe so. I also believe that it will not be for a very long time. I know a lot of people compare this with storage wars, but keep in mind, you can buy a storage unit for a lot less than you can buy a pallet. So the initial investment is going to be a lot higher. That's going to lower the threshold of how many people are going to do this. Now, are there going to be people who do this? Absolutely. Are there going to be people who stick around? Probably. How high of a percentage is that going to be? Not very high.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I've been doing this for years, and sometimes I still want to quit.
Yeah.
So,
most of the people are going to get, there's a very small, even people who watch YouTube videos and search, on Google and on YouTube how to make extra money, they come across reselling. There's a very small percentage of people who actually do it. Let alone, when it comes to liquidation, that, we don't give away like the sources. People are like, don't give away the sources. Like, the only sources, it's the sources that we give out here on our YouTube. It's the ones that if you Google, it's the ones found on the front page.
You can find them. You can Google them. People ask, where do I get pallets? I tell them the exact same thing. I also encourage them to do their own research and to reach out and look for those things ahead of time and on their own, because I can't run your business for you. And your business is going to look different from my business. Liquidation is very much like any other retail store. Retail store to retail store, it looks different based on your region, based on your time, your space, your capital. All of those things are going to determine how your business looks. So I can give you some information to help you get started, but the work is going to be on your end. And all of the people who may start this when they get exposed to pallet flipping, they're going to have to do that too. And truthfully, if they are willing to put in the work, the research, and the effort, they deserve to be here like the rest of us.
And and if the people that do, they even look, they're gonna get on liquidation, bulk, VIA trading, those main liquidators that everybody talks about, and they're gonna look and like, holy cow, it costs $300 to ship this pallet. I'm gonna have to spend $1,000 for this. Like Jessica said, like that's gonna bring the cost of entry into this very high, and not very many people are gonna be able to do it just because that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And it's got a very high cost entry point, whereas Storage Wars, granted, that went on for 12 seasons. Do I foresee this going on for 12 seasons? Heck no. Like, I don't know how they can make it entertaining for that long, but that's the way it went. But the people who do look, they're going to look, it's going to be a lot. And then the people who do buy pallets, they're going to get it and realize how hard it is, how much junk you actually have to go through, how
creative you have to
be, realizing like, oh, I can't just sell all this on eBay, or I can't just sell all this on Facebook. Like, and it's going to be a lot of people. You'll see on Facebook, like, people trying to offload their pallets that they purchased. So there's a couple questions. One, we got
I'm looking
about
up here.
being married. How long have we been married?
We been married? We have
5 years in September.
Really? High five.
Yeah, 5 years in September.
But we've been married for 5 years, but the first 2 years of our marriage were crazy. It was very, very, a lot of the things that people deal with over the few course of years, I went through very, very intense therapy. I don't know if you guys know this, and I don't even know if I've ever mentioned this, but I have had some very bad mindsets in my life before I found Jesus. Actually was an addict and a mental health suicide survivor and a lot of other things. And when Joe came into my life, I thought I had it all together and I could hide it from him. Turns out when you're married, can't really do that. And so I went to very, very intense therapy, did a lot of really hard work. And what you see is real, but we also, because we're so very different, we still have to work on communicating and learning each other's languages and speaking those things. So we've been married for 5 years, and a lot of people think, you know, wow, it seems like you guys have been married for a lot longer. And that's just because it's been a ride.
We chose to do the work of learning how to communicate with one another and how to have healthy conflict instead of avoiding issues.
And do we still have issues? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do we still, you know, have problems like and have to work through conflict? Absolutely. And that will always be. That will always
what happens
be.
when two people are in relationship.
But I also know that if I come to him with a conflictual issue, that he's not going to run away from me, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So thanks for asking that question.
Yes.
It kind of goes in with somebody else that had asked a question kind of about our story, but let me make sure that I've got everything
In
else
Beach
going on.
Life with Lexi, I thought that was hilarious when you said that because of the show that the execs from Hoarders are going to be contacting you. Because we actually watch Hoarders.
I love Hoarders. I love that show.
It was hilarious. I've looked, like, people would think if they've been to our storage unit and our garage, they're hoarderish.
But then you come into our house and like we really don't have
we're
a lot of
minimalist.
stuff. We're very minimalist, and honestly, I think that's what makes us so successful is that we really don't keep a lot of stuff. But I do always have that urge, like maybe I want no, I'm gonna sell it. So, word vendor, I also believe that you have to be scrappy to resell. It is a forever changing business, and if you want to survive and you want to do this for a long period of time, the times change, and so must you in your business. And I think that is very, very an accurate statement. Let's see. Let's see. Jose says, "Wow, that's awesome. We'll wish y'all the best of luck. Guess they're going up. I'm working on my broker's license to buy from customs and repo, and I've got to run some lots closing here in a bit."
Yep. So,
cool.
And that's good. That's awesome because Miami, that area with the international airport, what you're doing, like, yes, it's a port of entry. So that is awesome.
Okay, right here. Jessica Shields says, "Can you talk about how long it took you guys to get up and running when you first started? I want to hear your startup story and what y'all were going for when you started." I think that's where that starts with you.
I started.
He started before me.
I'm gonna make a video when I have time to go for like 5 hours. I'm gonna go. I've been working on this video idea for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months about taking y'all through how I got started in reselling. Like, it started for me when I was very, very young, collecting baseball cards, selling those. That I've always been very entrepreneurial. I was the kid that I drove my bicycle like 3 miles across town to buy airheads for 10 cents and took them to school and sold them for a quarter. and I started working. I was 14 years old at a pizza place, but I probably started, reselling. How old was I? Probably 31, 32. I'm 40 now. Oh, I'll be 40 in a couple of weeks. Next Thursday, I'll be 40. So I started reselling part-time. My ex-wife and I, we had moved to Tennessee, the Nashville area, so that she can go to audio engineering school. And when I was there, we went from 2 incomes to 1. I'm like, I need extra money. So I started selling stuff around my house. When that ran out, I went thrifting. I sold women's jeans because those are very easy to tell, like the butts. I look at the butts in the jeans, not the women wearing the jeans, but the ones on the shelf. And I'm like, those are nice jeans. And then I'd be out in public, those are nice jeans. Those are 7 for all mankind. Like, I like your citizens of humanity. But I couldn't tell them that because they're like, what are you looking at my butt?
I can tell by your butt.
So I went through that, and then I quit because I became general manager of Cracker Barrel, making a lot of money, and didn't even have time to resell. But I had a box of phones. And I guess it was 6
like
years,
old phones, like
old flip phones
type things.
So it's probably 6 years ago. I hated working for the man. I hated working for corporate America. I felt like just a cog in the American dream, that I was miserable. So just through prayer, I was riding on my motorcycle one Friday evening, and the Lord was like, do you trust me? And I was like, yes. And he's like, no, do you trust me? And I'm like, yeah. And I felt like Peter, when Jesus was talking to Peter, and he was like, do you love me?
Not like that. Not like old Greg.
Do you love me? Make an assessment.
I don't know if y'all have seen that, but don't look it up.
Not right now, because we want you to stay here. But after the video, YouTube old Greg.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, it's funny. And he's like, ask me a third time, do you trust me? At this point in time, this is presence is so thick. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, on Monday morning, I want you to go put your 2 weeks notice in that box of cell phones that you have. I want you to start selling it, and don't stop until you do.
Can I put a disclaimer that we're not encouraging anyone to do this?
No, I wouldn't do it because it was just me. And like, he also said to find a motor home to live in. So Monday morning, I went into work. And I put my notice in that afternoon. Actually, my ex-wife's uncle called me and said, come see me when you get off of work. So I went to see him when I got off of work. And he's like, I was in prayer this morning, and God told me to give you this Winnebago. So I got a 26-foot Winnebago for free by being obedient to the Lord. And this is how I know that there is God. So I did that, started reselling. We got married. I was like, let's do this.
No, you want to know what he said? Let me tell you what he said. So I had just found Jesus like in October of 2014. I met him in May of 2015. And at this point, like, my life was changing. Like there was like some visible like change. Like I had gotten that, like, it was crazy. Like uprooted my whole life. Like moved to Conway. I told myself I would never live in Conway because I went to Arkansas State University, and University of Central Arkansas in Conway was kind of like our rival. And so I was like, I'll never move to Conway. I'm loyal. Anyway, so here I am. I also said I would never marry a frat boy.
Sigma Nu.
And I would never marry a minister.
Ordained minister.
So, yeah. So, you say things like that. So now I kind of walk around being like, I'll never have $1 million just to see if the Lord may do something about that. But he actually sat down with me probably a couple of times after we had met, and he interviewed me for the job of wife. And I guess I got it because he looked at me, he said, my intention is not just to date you. My intention is to marry you. And I had dated...
And to present you pure and spotless before the Lord.
Yep. And I had never dated anyone like that before. And it was very intriguing. And I was like, okay. And then we were married 2 months later. So. And
Brian, I haven't forgot your question. I'm going to finish this one and wrap it up because this is who we are.
It is kind of long. But they're asking specifically about pallets. So let's fast forward to pallets.
We were growing big time with cell phones that we were doing like $30,000 to $40,000 a month just selling cell phones. We had 4 or 5 I think it was 5 full-time employees at that time, and I was buying so many cell phones. There were just so many available, and then the market shifted almost overnight. Phones that I would be able to get for like $3 were now going for $10 a phone. So I started looking for other ways to make money, and I bought a pallet from liquidation.com. I bought it because it had Instapots on it. We got it in, and I instantly regretted purchasing that pallet.
Somebody actually commented in a video asking if we've ever had a bad buy. And we remember that one notoriously as being one of the worst buys we have ever had, because we didn't know enough. And we didn't know what salvage was.
Yeah, and I can talk about this on the TV show. We have a bad buy. Like
we did have a bad buy on the TV show.
That was bad. It was bad.
A couple of them that were like not good at all. I mean, they weren't bad like that one was bad, but there were a couple of them on there where we were really worried about whether we would profit or anything. Like at that point. We did buy a pallet of, like health and beauty supplies and a few other things. And I was really concerned that we wouldn't make our money back. So there are some bad buys on that show because we were in charge of choosing our own pallets. And so I feel like it's a very realistic view of what it's like in liquidation, where a lot of times if you know what you're doing and you know what you're searching for, it can be really, really good. But it doesn't matter how experienced you are. The chances of you not having a good pallet are always going to be there.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything was as bad as that.
No.
That first pallet that we got. I don't even know how we still continue to do. Why did we even buy another pallet?
Well, we bought more. We bought some more pallets, and the next set of pallets that we got in, we got a 3D printer on that pallet that paid for one of the whole pallets by itself, and we were hooked after that. Like we were in a 1,000 square foot office building, I think we were 4 pallets total in that building. And then after that, we started looking for a warehouse. We started buying truckloads, realized that it was way too much work, not what we wanted. Like we go the fast route. Like people ask us all the time, it's like, should I just jump in and start doing it? Like we don't recommend it because liquidation, it's risky. And I say risky because you've got to build relationships with people you are buying from, because there are liquidators and brokers out there that will sell you junk because they don't care. Not everyone, and I'm not trying to scare people away, but there are some that will do it because they're not worried about building clientele. They're just trying to offload that one truckload. So building relationships is key.
Getting to know them. Yep. I mean, like any business, if you're going to be in business with somebody else and you're going to be making an investment of that much money, doing everything you can to protect your own business and your own investment, which includes asking questions and building relationships and putting a face to your name, or putting a voice, even if you email is great, but if you're going to be buying, I call them if you can, visit them if you can, because that's going to make a huge difference in all of that. So so
we started we shut the warehouse down. Like this is not it's straight up, this is for another video, but that's how we got into pallets. We love it. It was just, the warehouse was too much. We like the being at home with the kids, the freedom that it provides. So
then Brooke, I think, is the next question, because you talked about how you got into pallets.
Yep. Brooke asked about, I know Brian, he asked about, do you need permits? You don't need a permit, a business license to start reselling or buying liquidation pallets, but I would encourage it just because it's going to save you in taxes. That if you have a reseller's license, a business license, you can show it to the liquidator and show that you're buying it for resale purposes, and you can save taxes. So if you're buying a $50 or $500 pallet, taxes are 10%, that's $50. That's going to take care of the cost of that license, and it will save you money, but it's not required. And then Brooke asked about high-end selling jeans. I have no idea what they would sell for. I would check eBay solds for those specific ones, because that was way long ago.
Marlon asked, what ways has the pandemic affected the business?
A lot of ways. We have been really heavy. We buy pallets, but we buy a lot of consumer electronics like cell phones and digital cameras. So I'm going to speak specifically about cell phones, that we used to be able to buy around 200 cell phones per week. That's mainly what Whitney did, is that she handled the cell phone operations for us, to allow us to pay attention to the pallets and such. But there are no cell phones available, because a lot of like AT&T stores, a lot of these places have stopped taking trade-ins, which has slowed the supply chain down severely.
Well, and then the pallet industry is the same
Yes.
way. People aren't taking returns, and if they are taking returns, they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere, and they're not being sold to the liquidators like normal. So we're having major sourcing issues right now.
Which Hustle Shark, he talked about. He's mixing this question. He said that, hey, fellow reseller, do you find the prices liquidation pallets going for double or more than what they used to? Since this COVID started, at pallets I used to get for 300 are now 600 plus. Yes. And there's two reasons for that. One is that, like Jessica said, is that there has been a shortage in supply because a lot of businesses stopped taking returns. There are also a lot of businesses like Amazon that they were only selling essential items for long periods of time. So all the extra stuff, they were not selling it, which has did slow the supply chain down, right? So then throw in the fact that people were making more money than they have in a very long time, because one, they got tax returns followed up by a stimulus check, and if they were unemployed, they were getting the extra $600 per month. So
Woo! It's a flip it.
they're getting that extra $600 per month or per week. And a lot of people, I was talking to one of my relationships that I've had for a long time in the liquidation industry. It's like, it was just a weird time where people have had so much money, so they've been paying way more for stuff. Like, there's auctions that we would follow on B Stock for Target shelf pulls, Target returns that normally would go for around 25% of retail price. Meaning if a pallet would cost $1,000 retail for it, that it would sell for around $250. But those auctions were going for 60 and 70% of retail. And that's usually what we try to get out of these pallets, is about 70% of the retail cost is usually what we estimate on a pallet that we can make from it. So it's been affected that way. So Marlon, that answered your question, Hustle Shark. And I, from what I'm understanding now, is that the supply chain should be increasing, that there should be a lot more goods that are hitting the supply chain. Plus, there's lots of businesses that are going out of business now. So that will also be going in.
And you got to keep in mind, guys, like there's a lot of unknowns here. Like, we have never been through a pandemic like this before. So nobody knows the answer, because nobody knows what's going to happen. We don't know, how the, COVID infection rate is going to happen. Like, when things start opening back up, we just really don't know, and we don't know how people are going to respond to it. So, this is one of those things where if you want to survive in any business, now we're talking specifically about pallet flipping and liquidation and thrifting, but in any business, you have to be prepared. And I think that something that is unique about our business and our niche that we're in is that there is a lot more that we can do. A lot of us are not brick and mortar. There's some of us out there that are brick and mortar. So, like, being able to cut down on expenses, being able to get creative about how we move our product, how we source our product, things like that. Like, we're in a really good spot. What's happening?
Oh, I'm just answering a question.
Oh, okay. So yeah, where are we at? I think, and if we missed any questions, be sure to just ask again, or if I'm trying to go back and check.
I'm looking. We've got that one. Bad buys, definitely, and I think that's all the questions.
That's all of them.
I think so.
We do have some email questions that I do want to address.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and do that. But if you guys do have questions, or you guys have things you want to say and talk about, keep commenting, because we'll get back to it.
Yeah, and in it to flip it, I've heard that about Bed Bath & Beyond, and I would agree. It does. They do that. Lots of stuff is missing.
Okay, I'm glad. Look, okay, this is how sometimes I'm really slow, because I read it and I was waiting for you to read it so you could tell me what I thought. Bed Bath & Beyond. I was reading Better Business Bureau, And I'm like, why are they going through pallets? That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense.
So, and then also with, like we're finding now that our community, like Arkansas, they didn't really ever shut down. Like there was to a degree, but they didn't go very uber shutdown mode when, yes, Pallet Jackson. They didn't go uber aggressive in shutting down businesses. So in Arkansas, I mean, especially we're one of those states where the people who were unemployed, they were getting paid a lot more money than they were before. So we have noticed that there are some items that normally would sell faster that it's taken a little bit longer to sell. They're still selling for the price that they would before, but it's taken just a little bit longer.
I'm not the only one who read it. Better Business Bureau. I'm so excited.
Marie did it.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah. So things that we have done, Marlon, to kind of pivot. We've obviously, for Whitney, we furloughed her for a while because one, she could make more money on unemployment than what we could offer her, but we didn't have a lot of work for her to do. But secondly, is we still, we have been saving cash. Like we haven't really been doing a lot of buys, a lot of stuff. We've just mainly been focusing on items that we can sell locally because here, like I said, Conway has not been affected very much by the pandemic. Mostly everybody, there's been a few businesses that have shut down, but most of the people, they're still buying here. So we've just really shifted to try and buy a lot of stuff that we know people are still going to buy, even when they don't have a lot of money.
I think things that really sold very well during this pandemic, knowing that people are at home, they're doing things to their homes and stuff. We've sold a lot of like garden and lawn equipment from our pallets, a lot of baby stuff, furniture, stuff like that. Things that people, they're at home, they're doing these things, they want to rearrange some stuff. And so we're trying to sell stuff like that. And, when we're choosing what to list, getting those things listed first. And that has been really, really helpful. So, and it's okay. And to flip it, I gathered it in a minute. I was like, oh, I should have caught that, but I didn't. And I thought it was hilarious anyways. So,
do we want to talk about this before we get into the other questions?
Sure. All right. So there's a couple of things I want to get y'all's advice about, and find out how y'all feel about it, test the waters, get you, get some what y'all think. One of them is, I'll answer that. We'll answer that question in a second. One of them is, we want to get, I think you'd be better at
which one are we doing?
The first one.
Okay. So,
see, this is hard.
I posted in the community on YouTube community. If you don't follow us on the YouTube community thing, I've been posting stuff on there. We also post stuff on Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't follow us there, please do, because we do a lot more other stuff. We do.
We do stuff.
I'm from Arkansas. Can you tell? I do have a college degree though. That we have had people that have been sending us messages asking about shirts. We just changed the logo. They've been asking for a while, but we didn't like the old logo because it wasn't us. But Jessica made us a new logo. We've been flirting around with the idea for, 6 or 7 months, and we finally settled on it.
One of those things where we think very differently.
Yeah.
So finding something that both of us love was
it was a
process.
we would, and then we'd put it down. And
walk
then,
away,
like
come
a
back.
month later, we would.
And finally, it was like, there it is.
Yeah, we got it. That's what I've been wanting. Yeah. So shirts, but we don't want to just go the route of having print on demand. For one, I've heard from lots of people, talking to people who have done that, the quality is not very good. We also believe in supporting local business. So with that is we have to pay for the shirts. We have to order the shirts here, get shirts, but we don't even know if the demand is even there from you guys about whether you would like shirts. And some of you are probably asking, I don't even know what the shirt is like. So we're going to put a link down in the description. It's a jot form. If you are interested in getting a shirt, fill out this jot form so that we can, when we get the shirt design, ready, we can email it to you. You might have to get your phone charger so that we can email it to you. And then you can decide if you would like to go ahead and get a shirt ordered.
Just know when you fill out that form, that's basically just, it goes straight to me so that I can email everyone when I'm like, hey, we've got the shirt design. It doesn't mean that you have to buy it. It doesn't mean that you are required by any means. It just means that, hey, I'm interested in possibly buying merchandise and I want to know more. And there's also a box at the bottom. I'd like to be more involved with you guys in different ways that people work better. You know, one of the things that I love to do is I do love to blog, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that. And I want to be able to do that to give a lot of like tips and tricks and information, things that people are asking a lot about, so that it can just be easily accessible for a lot of people. And I want to be able to send those kinds of things via email. If you are interested in something like that, just click that little box. So yes, woo pig suey.
That's how we do it. That is how.
Woo!
I'm a bigger NFL fan than college football.
I don't like.
I've had to separate myself emotionally from the Razorbacks because they are very much abusers in this relationship. They like to make you feel good, and then they just push you against the wall. So like I've had to distance myself.
Way to go, Cajun! You
them.
Started something now. You've triggered him.
But I'm a Chiefs fan. Kansas City Chiefs. They did win the Super Bowl. So
okay. One other thing I want to say while y'all are still talking about that. That's hilarious. But so another thing that I want to talk about. We're getting to this point where we are having to adjust where we spend our time.
We only have so much of it.
We only have so much of it, and you know, like who was it that said it? Sharon, I believe, that said it. She was really happy that we run this business so that we can spend time with our kids and our families, and that is very much true. So we want to make the most of our time. That being that we're running our business efficiently, that we're putting out quality YouTube content for you guys, and then we get lots and lots of email questions and a lot of things, and I you know, specifically about like how to get started or tips and tricks. And I know there's some you know, fully established resellers in the chat, but for the newer people that are emailing asking for, you know, advice and startup, we need to figure out how we can streamline this process.
Because liquidation. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's fine. We just don't have all the time in the world to answer the same questions over and over again. And on top of that, like, this business is so unique. So we're trying to figure out, like how we can be the most help.
Yeah, because
without sacrificing
our
business.
Any minute that we don't spend with things that, like, any minute that we can't spend in our reselling business, we lose money. And YouTube, like, we're not really making a lot of money right now. It's like we're making like $2 an hour now versus $1. But we also want to be helpful because we're getting, like, since our channel's been growing, and I foresee as the show comes out that it's going to grow a lot more. Like, I can only imagine when we do a live video after the show comes out next month, that it's probably going to be very hard to be able to answer a lot of questions. And email questions, like in the past, I would just be like, all right, well, let me call you for 15 minutes, because with liquidation, there's no cookie cutter answer. Because everyone's experience, everyone's situation is so unique because of where you live from a liquidator, the market that you live in, whether it's you know, a high population area, low population area, how much time you have, how much space you have, that all of those are variables that we need to know in order to really answer questions.
So here's what I want to ask you guys. Specifically the newer resellers, the newer liquidation people who are wanting to do stuff. Like, would you guys want like maybe like a Patreon where we can put specific information in there? We can even have like something where we can help you one-on-one. Like, I'm trying to think, like paid consultations, maybe something like that. And like Joe and I, like, we don't want to like just, we're not trying to milk people for money.
No, I don't want to
And
nickel or dime
I don't want
either.
that. I don't want that. And I all I want to do is to be able to, at the end of the day, that my children are fed, that my business is thriving, and that, the big part of the family flips, one of the biggest things about it is that we want to encourage other people to step outside the box and reach their dreams. Liquidation can absolutely be that way, but it could also be something else. Maybe liquidation isn't for you, but I still want to be there to encourage you. How can you reach your dreams? And we specialize in liquidation, so there's a lot of people who want to do that, who want to try that. And I'm not quite sure what the interest is or how many of you guys out there would be interested in doing something.
We have a Patreon page. Like, we're kind of setting it up for, getting it to where people, we call it, like, there's one tier, it's called Friend of the Family, where you get benefits of being on there. There's one, it's called Joining the Family. But we also, that's more for entertainment type purposes. And, you get extra stuff where you get extra live videos, where it's a much smaller pool, a lot more interaction that you can get. But also, I think we're thinking about adding one on there to where it's more based on consulting.
Because here's the deal: your business is if you're gonna do liquidation or reselling in general, your whole business model is going to be based off three things: time, space, money. How much time do you have to spend? How much space do you have to store your inventory or to move around and list stuff? And then how much capital do you have? And that's going to determine what you're sourcing, how you're sourcing it, where you're moving that product to, so on and so forth. And then you also have to think about things like location. You have to think about things like, the liquidators in your area and what they have available. So there's a lot of things that are very, very dependent upon where you are. And so I want to be able to help with that. I want to be a resource for people. But I also, we're at a breaking point now.
It's like we don't have, with what we're doing now, this is even before the show goes live. Like, we're fixing to have demands from A&E to be able to do different stuff for social media and stuff, that our time pool is getting smaller. And we still want to add time, but also not at the cost of, we're at that point where we have to steal time from reselling business, which we could pay somebody to do it, but then we're making less money. You know what I'm saying? So I think the common consensus is do coaching.
Or classes.
Or classes.
What do y'all think? Coaching or classes? Like, it's like, I guess coaching would be more the thing, right?
Yeah, and it may be, I think, that's an idea. That's something that we floated through, but we also, people out there are like, oh, they're just trying to get money. Like, but they don't realize how much time all of this actually takes. It takes, we don't just sit down in front of the camera and record a video for 15 minutes and then do no edits and then put it up. There's time. Like, when we do an unboxing video, it probably takes us 2 or 3 hours to unbox it. And then it takes you, 5 or 6 hours probably to edit the video?
Our vlogs are less time.
Yep.
They're less time. But the actual, because, I'm putting the screenshots on there so you can see the information, and all of that. It takes me probably about 4 to 5 hours per unboxing video. So this is not just something that I just throw up on the internet. I do it thoughtfully. There's a lot of times where we have hard times finding stuff. And it takes us, 5 to 10 minutes to find it. The unboxing process is not the 30-minute to 45-minute video that you see. It is a 2 to 3 hour process, and then the editing that comes afterwards. So yes,
I think that's the common consensus. So
coaching, I'm really glad to have heard that from you guys. It looks like that's
something that we've talked about also.
Pallet Jack says filming days and all day. It is an all day affair.
But we wanted to also have dialogue with you guys, since you watch us, that exactly, Sharon. And that's why, because family time, that's
non-negotiable.
That's not negotiable.
It's the reason why we're doing this.
Yeah, we keep it small so that, I have a video coming out tomorrow about that very thing, about things that we're not willing to sacrifice. And we're not willing to sacrifice family or health. So that's why, So cool.
And our business is a way for us to be able to
Yeah.
do that. So
right.
I do want to get into some of these questions because I know a lot of you are here for liquidation questions. So if you guys have more to add on about that, keep commenting.
I'll answer
we'll
Uncle
get into
Bo's
this.
nose question.
Okay.
We have got pallets out of Indiana. I've ordered a couple of liquidation pallets from liquidation.com out of Indiana. We're actually going to be unboxing one on the show. Cool pallet. And then I've bought some from American Pallet Liquidators out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. There's a lot of pallets in Indiana. So, yep.
Okay, so
There's no other questions, was there?
Is there no other? If you have a question, we did not answer it, please ask it again. I'm really thankful for all of y'all's support.
Yeah,
I'm looking back.
And the reason why we said Patreon is because Patreon doesn't take very much money. That YouTube, if you like super chats, like I love super chats. Like if y'all want to give us money for this and all that, I would rather send it to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, because YouTube takes 40% of the money. So like if you were to give $100 super chat, Google is going to take $40 of that. And that's crazy. So that's why I love super chats and I'm very appreciative of it. At the same time, every time I'm like, man, Google's about to get 40% of that. But Patreon doesn't. Like we've looked in doing the YouTube subscription where they have that. You can become a member and join. But YouTube, they take a lot of money. And I don't, so. But that's why we've talked about Patreon because it's very small percentage. So. Yes, Dixie Girl 999. There's lots in Tennessee. If you check out Pallet Jackin, he is located in Jackson. Him and April are located in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I think he might be watching.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's it may be April though. I don't know. There are lots of places in Tennessee. And also Mississippi. I don't know of any in Mississippi, but there's lots in Tennessee.
If there's anybody in the chat who buys pallets from Mississippi, feel free to help our girl Dixie out.
But email me, send me an email, and
there's Pallet Jackin right there. You can get to his channel.
His or her.
Or her. Yeah, I'm not sure who's on.
Yeah. But I'm putting my email in here. And just email me, and I will try to send you a little bit more stuff. All right.
There we go. Okay, so moving on to these questions here. These are a couple of
TJ
emails.
is here.
What's up, TJ? Warehouse 1 in Tennessee.
Yes, that one's a good also.
Hey, guys, people are asking if you guys know of any in the area. We don't know everything. So, somebody just asked about Florida. If anybody knows anything in Florida, go ahead and comment that while I'm answering this question.
Yeah.
So the first one says, and it's actually a really nice segue.
Yeah.
What is the best way to start buying and flipping liquidation pallets? What websites would you recommend for purchasing boxes/pallets? What is a good price to look for? Now, this question is not, there is no cookie cutter answer, but this is a great place to start since you've got lots, I think you guys are seeing in the comments now how different everything is, but I would start by doing research and finding out what's close to you. One of them you can Google. You'll find your major pallet liquidators definitely on Google. If you've got like a liquidation.com, place near you, you'll find that. You'll find, if you're near a bulk or whatever, you'll find those there. But you can also check your local areas like, Craigslist, Facebook, all those places. Look for your area and see if there's anything more local. And on top of that, those places are going to be a little bit harder to find. And so if when the A&E show comes out, there becomes an increase in pallets, those are going to be the places that are less likely to be affected. So here, I'll get it.
It's the places that are found on Google that are going to be greatly affected because people won't think to look on Facebook or do a search for pallet liquidators on Facebook, but they will go to Google. And Google, if you want to be a business on Google, you have to pay to play. And a lot of liquidators, they're not really on Google. So check Facebook. So that was the question about the best place or where to start flipping and buying liquidation, what websites. If you're looking for small lots, I know Jessica Shields earlier talked about a low cost entry. I would buy lots. I know Pallet Jackin has been doing some unboxings from smallerlots.com, and they're actually located in Gallatin, Tennessee. I know somebody was asking earlier about, I think it was Dixie, about Tennessee. They're mid Tennessee wholesale, but they're also known as smallerlots.com. He's been getting a lot from there, and from what I've seen, they've been doing quite well. I know Wholesale Ninjas has small lots, but there's lots of mixed reviews about small lots from Wholesale Ninjas. Liquidation.com has small lots. The thing is if you've never sold anything, you've never resold anything, then I wouldn't, like, if you buy a whole pallet, it could be very intimidating to do. So if you buy a lot, like if you're looking to start like on eBay, buying a box, like granted your margins aren't going to be as good, but it's a good way to start the process of learning, because like there's no school that you can go to. Like, yes, you can read books and you can read, you know, what are they called? What's the thing that we've been working on?
Ebooks.
Ebooks and all those types of things. But none of that takes over, or none of that is more important than education, learning by firsthand experience. Because,
and that's the way of this business, honestly. So.
Is you have to pay for your education. Like there are things that you can learn, but really the best way to learn is by getting in there and doing it.
You'll actually hear Joe a lot of times in vlogs where he'll say, "Yeah, I'll pay this much to learn.
Yeah,
I'll pay this much to learn," because he knows that he may not get an immediate return on that investment, but is the knowledge that he's going to gain from doing this worth the amount of money that he is spending?
Yep.
And and that's a really good way to
You've got to, because it's you've got to touch boxes. See what kind of boxes there are, learn and know the ratios of what percentage are going to be totally destroyed, what percentage is going to be actually good stuff.
And there's no way to do this business without risk.
Yep.
So if you're not willing to risk a little to learn, then there's going to be no way for you to be able to do pallets. I mean, we still have a hard time sometimes. We still have bad buys and bad pallets. So
yeah, I mean, the unboxing that we released yesterday, we got it, and I was like, we got it in, like, I don't know why I bought this pallet. Like, it's I paid way too much for it. Granted, we made money, and we're gonna make money on it.
It's gonna take a minute, but we made it.
I didn't know why I bought it, so you learn, like, and then they ask, what is a good price to look for? I don't like. If you're buying a pallet, depending on where it's from, no more than 25% of retail. Depending on the pallet, like if it's like Lowe's or Home Depot, like I wouldn't pay more than like 15% of retail personally. If it's like Target overstock stuff, and that's why like there's no cookie cutter answer, because there's so many different types of pallets. There's shelf pulls. There's all different stuff that requires a lot more information, but good price, I would look at the retail price, and I wouldn't try to spend more than 25%.
Yep.
So
that's a good safe number. Yep. I mean, we've done more than that before when the risk was a lot lower, or maybe there wasn't as much work involved, things like that. So things are always adjustable.
Yep, and it's good advice. And to flip it, don't buy a pallet until you've done lots of research. I wish I would have done a little bit of research. I didn't even know that unboxings and liquidation stuff existed when I bought my first pallet. So I definitely would have watched. And I think it's a great thing to learn. Like there's pallets that I'm interested in buying that I haven't, because I want to be able to physically see the pallets. But I've got some YouTubers that I watch, like Pallet Jack, and he unboxes a lot of stuff that I'm interested in that I never have bought, because I haven't seen it physically in person because they're so far away. But I learn through watching other people's unboxings, and that's a great way to learn.
All right. And so if anybody has any questions about that, we're going to move on. We've got another question that we got, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. But if you guys have any other questions about that, you know where to put it.
Yep. She says, I think it's Cindy is her name. And she says, I live in Southern Virginia and was wondering what company you would use or what tool app to find a carrier to deliver pallets. So I know for us, we use ABF or Arkansas Best Freight. They also go by the name ArcBest, that they ship around the world, that we like them. They have good prices. But if you are looking to have a pallet ship and you want to get multiple companies place a bid on their shipping, check out uship.com. And there's another one I would look at. If you just Google freight broker, you will be able to find different shipping companies, and they will give you lots of different options. But I would say wherever you are, I would look local first. One, you're supporting local business. We believe strongly in supporting local business. But secondly, you probably can get some better deals on that because they're already in your state. They're already operating locally.
It would be really good for them if they're going to place a bid on your pickup, if they can work it around when they're already making a delivery. So they're not going to charge you as much if they're already driving those miles.
Yep. And then the second part...
Hi, In It to Flip It. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Cajun, for sharing Pallet Jackin's channel. And the second part of the question says, would you suggest setting up as a business from the get-go or test the waters to see if it is going to be more hobby than business? Hobby. Test the waters.
If you can, do it.
Test the waters. Yep. Because one, you may not like it. You may not like how much time. We started buying truckloads from the get-go. We had bought 5 pallets and let's get a whole truckload. Let's go get a warehouse and start buying truckloads. And
it was not my idea.
Yeah. That was part of the thing. We, weren't communicating.
Well, see, that's the thing that we've learned through this business. We talked a little bit about our relationship and our marriage, and one of the things that we learned was that I did not speak up enough. And he didn't slow down enough. And so something that we learned of oh, wow, well, yeah, that really messed us up. We really made some pretty big business mistakes because we did not know how to communicate. So, that's another one of those things. But yes, if you are thinking about doing it, starting off as a hobby, buying lots and boxes before buying pallets, like In It to Flip It said, to make sure that, you put in plenty of research in before you start just buying pallets. Very, very good idea.
Yeah, and if you're getting into liquidation, and
that's a good one too, Cajun. Only spend what you're willing to lose.
That's right.
That's very good.
Is that we flip pallets, but I wouldn't say that flipping pallets is our full-time job. It's not the only way that we source. We do still source some cell phones. We do source some other electronics. It's not the only thing that we source to sell. Do we make enough money flipping pallets to make a full-time income? Yes, but that requires lots of space. We have 800 square feet of space here at our home. We have a 300 square foot storage unit that's full, floor to ceiling of stuff. And then we have, 17 by 7. So we have almost 120 square feet at our flea market booth that we have lots of stuff. It's a lot of space to be able to have a full-time income doing liquidation because these boxes take up a lot of space. And some of these items, they don't have a very fast sell-through rate, meaning that it takes a little bit longer for them to sell. Which I just realized Jessica Shields earlier asked about what do you suggest buying for people with a low budget. I kind of answered that question with small lots. But also, if you don't have a lot of money, you're going to want to buy items that sell fast. A lot of people will say if you don't have a lot of money, buy items that you can get for cheap. I don't agree with that. You want items that sell fast because you can grow your bank, you can grow your cash roll a lot faster buying items that sell fast. Because if you only have $300 to spend, for instance, and you buy items that take less than a month to sell or a month to sell, well, in a month you can double your money from $300 to $600. Whereas if you buy a bunch of cheap items, but those items take 4 or 5 months to sell, then it's going to take you that much longer to be able to double your money. So I say buy items that sell fast. It's harder with liquidation, but you can buy electronics lots. You can go to B Stock Supply. They have some more organized lots that you can buy. There's small lots that you can buy that are very organized with specific categories. They're more expensive, but they're going to sell a lot faster. So
cool beans.
That is right, Pallet Jacket. It's very easy to buy them, very hard very difficult to offload them if you don't know the process, which was taking me back to what I wanted to say is that when you get into liquidation, that you can't just plan to sell it in one place. Like you can't just plan to sell it on Facebook or on eBay or in a flea market booth, that the more avenues that you have to sell product, the better it's going to be for you to be able to sell those items faster. So
sweet.
Yeah.
What's next?
What did you do before this?
Oh, what did I do before this? Well, pre-Jesus, I worked in the service industry. I was a restaurant, I was a trainer at Olive Garden, and then I was a manager at Chico's Boutique in Little Rock. And then I discovered Jesus, uprooted my whole life. I uploaded. I uploaded it to the internet. I uprooted my entire life because out of nowhere, when I found Jesus, somebody had called me, a really good friend of mine, and she was like, "Hey, I'm opening up a preschool." And I don't know why, but I just feel like, do you have a college degree? And I was like, yeah, I have a college degree in social psychology. She was like, awesome. She was like, that's the requirement. She was like, I was wondering if you would be a preschool teacher. And I became a preschool teacher up until I married him and became a reseller. And I loved it. So it's just it's kind of bizarre, the switch, but very, very, I guess it was unusual, but I enjoyed it. And it was exactly what I needed.
I was like, let's get married. You can quit your job. I'm thinking you should have stayed there, and you could have learned the process of reselling first.
And then,
because that first year and a half
was scary.
It was rough. Like it was bad. Like we started doing less sales after we got married than I was doing before, and like there were days there wasn't days, but there was long periods of time where we were going to the grocery store every single day.
With the money we made that day.
With the money that we made that day in our PayPal account, buying groceries for that day. And we lived like that for a while.
A lot of sleepless nights. But if I had kept my job, that would, I could have kind of carried us through that.
And I say people...
We're very zealous.
Resellers who have a full-time job or even a part-time job, I would say more than likely that's the way to go. Just because you are generally always going to have money to be able to reinvest into your business. A lot of resellers, they get in trouble. Even we got in trouble because with reselling is that you have to have the ability to reinvest in your business, or else your business is going to start suffering. Like if you're not continually buying at least the same amount of inventory that you've been buying to reach those sales goals, your sales will start to go down and your business will trend down into where it's going to keep going down. But if you have a full-time job or your spouse has a full-time job, you're almost guaranteed a way to be able to keep reinvesting in your business. But
if your dream has room for that job, it wouldn't be don't be in a hurry to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
they think we're cute, but I'm the cutest when I carry it.
I don't know, Satan. You commented on the video that I didn't sell my soul to you. I sold it to A&E. Actually, I gave it to Jesus.
A&E, we didn't sell our soul to A&E. We sold our soul
Satan.
to Jesus.
Not today. And Radio K, and
that's true. And if something ever happens in your job where you can't continue to do it, reselling is a great.
It is.
And
that's what we started this channel as a way to not when we started this channel, it wasn't even about reselling. It was about phone farming, about using this phone that you have to play applications and make extra money, because we know that 40% of Americans, and you've been following me for a while, you've heard me say this like 1,000 times probably, but 40% of Americans say that they cannot afford an unexpected bill of $600 or more if it hits them. That's 40%. And then the average American spends 1.5% more each year than what they make. So for most Americans, $400 a month extra, that's a big deal. Like, that would provide a lot of freedom to people. It would prevent them from being in a lot more stressful situations. It would make their home life happier. Just the stress of it. It would allow them to be able to spend more time with their kids, with their family. So we shifted into reselling. Like, I'd already been reselling for a while. And that we started to reselling as a way to just, like, we don't really contour our channel to resellers. Like, it's like, we like resellers.
And we like being a part of that community.
But like, we are going after the non-resellers. We're going after the people who are looking for freedom, who are looking for the passion, the ability to follow their dreams. And some people, their dream is being a reseller. But a lot of people, their dream is not the job that they're working at. That their dream is doing, being, say, a beautician. I'm just using an example. But they've been in the job as an accountant for 10 years, and they are stuck in that lifestyle because of the money that they make as an accountant. So they're miserable going to work every single day. They dream about being a beautician, but they can't because they're enslaved to this lifestyle of having to pay for the house, having to pay for all the new cars, all the nice stuff, that they can't just quit their job and go do the thing that they really have passion for.
Yeah.
So this lifestyle that we promote is, yes, we resell, and if you want to resell as a tool that is going to allow you to pay off some debt, get some extra money, so that you can quit your job and follow your dreams and passions. And maybe you have to use reselling after that as a way to get secondary income so that you can do it. Then that's what we want. We don't want anybody to just be stuck in their situation and being miserable because, like, you look at a lot of people, like, they're like, if you're a baby boomer out there, this is not in a bad way. I love you guys.
I don't know where he's going with this. I'm sorry.
But you look at a lot of baby boomers, they're miserable when they're older. They work at the same job for 40 years. And they're like, oh, well, then they talk to somebody who wants to follow after their dreams. Like, no, you go after the job that's going to give you the best benefits. Like, no,
right.
I don't want to live, I don't want to work in a job for 40 years and be miserable and then have my 10 years of life after that. Like, I want life now. Because you only have one life. Like, there's only, and you're not even guaranteed tomorrow. Like, that's what the video tomorrow is about. It's like, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So, there's questions in here, I think.
Well, no, we've got Brooke encouraging Ready Okay, and I'm loving it.
Yes.
Loving it.
We're big encouragers. Encouragement goes like, it's like the thing that really, it's awesome.
Not selling much, but be binging your videos since we found you 2-7. Love your personality. Thanks. I'm the funny one.
Jessica Shields asked about in shipping online. It can be, but you need to get a scale and you need to get as many free shipping supplies from the United States Postal Service as you can, because that will save you a lot of money. So get a scale, get a yardstick or a tape measure so that you can weigh things, and then when you're listing the item, put all of those dimensions in when you list it, because it will help you out. And if we always recommend, until you get the hang of shipping, is do calculated shipping on eBay, meaning that the customer is going to pay for the shipping, and they're going to pay, how much they pay depends upon where they live geographically from you.
And also know that there's going to be a learning curve. And now when you're not having as many sales, it's good to get a process down so that when you start having, you know, tons and tons. I mean, we used to before the pandemic have like 50, 60 items going out every day. But it hasn't really been the case this time. So
What was that?
shipping stuff. I'm talking about the process of shipping stuff and trying to get into a good routine now, and learning the ins and outs of that. So, and there are so many reseller YouTubers that we've done it. I've seen so many of them talking about their shipping, the way that they do shipping. So maybe check out some resellers on YouTube, check out what they do for, you know, shipping, and then see if any of those things you feel like would work for you.
Yeah. Radio Kate, first of all, thank you so much for binge watching. We appreciate it. Secondly, do I think it's best to not do free shipping? I think personally, in my opinion, because of consumers and how they shop, they're looking for free shipping. There's plenty of statistics out there. I can't quote them all right now because it's been a while since I have looked at them, but the vast majority of consumers are looking for items that have free shipping. I'm really referencing and talking to people who are brand new at selling on eBay, is that to do calculated shipping until you get the hang of it, because a lot of people, you'll see it in Facebook groups. I've experienced it where you sell an item, it's got free shipping, and then you didn't realize that it's going to California and you live in Florida, and it's going to cost you $25 to ship it there because of the size. So I think as you get more experience doing so, you kind of get an idea of how big the item is, how much it weighs, and you gain experience doing it. Then you can do free shipping. In some items, it may not even be worth, like there's some bigger, bulkier items that we get off of pallets that I still don't do free shipping because I know it's going to cost like $50 to California, but to Louisiana, it's only going to be $20. So
Lantern Picker just said some buyers will pay more for an item if it has free shipping.
They will.
It's true.
Because they can't do math. They can't do math.
Or they don't want to do math. It's true though. We've experimented with that. It's so true. Let's see. I'm gonna go back up here. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Said he wanted to join.
Thank you.
Then
I think you said you're in Tennessee, like an hour away. I used to live in Smyrna, Tennessee, is where I lived, and we're gonna get there because I just found a liquidator in Laverne that I want to go and visit.
And then Pallet Jackson said that his parents did the same thing. They both passed away with cancer a couple of years ago, and that's what pushed him in April to start building this business. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Brooke says, what you focus on expands. You have to keep positive. That's great advice. It's true. That's very true. And then Mike from Mike's, oh my gosh, what is the name? I'm sorry. I done messed up, Mike. They do pallet liquidation and love it.
They've been doing lots of is that the one that the YouTube? They've been doing lots of unboxings too.
Yeah. And let's see. I have to email you back, Mike. Let's see what else. Where are we at?
Did you go to UCA?
You lived in Conway?
Did you go to UCA? Just curious, because I lived in Conway 2002. I think I moved away from Conway in 2003. And then moved back not until like 2009. So
sweet. And I wasn't here until 2014, so I missed you. Let's see.
That's funny, Jessica. Thank you.
I'm taking notes.
We have some things. I mean, our YouTube will probably always be very entertainment focused with some, you know, the old sitcoms back in the day, like
Is this after my time? Is this before?
Yeah, probably. Like Full House, The Facts.
No, I watched that.
The Facts of Life, The Cosbys.
Nope, I watched
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Is that they were entertaining, but they also had those thought-provoking, those things in the episodes
that sent a good
were
message.
like life messages, like life things. And that's what I'm really trying to go for, is that type of thing. So I'm practicing and learning to do how to do that. I'd love to be able to spend, because it takes a lot of time. Like doing a vlog, like you may see like that 10-second thing, But like, I probably like went and set the camera up, didn't like the lighting, tried to adjust the lighting, I didn't like that angle, so I moved the camera to get this angle, because I don't want to just set the camera up and just go. Like, I want to make mini movies for you guys and make something that's quality,
Cinematography.
What's up, Wally?
Wally!
Wally
is our listing assistant, our virtual assistant. Everybody say hi to Wally.
Yes.
We love Wally. Do we have any other questions, y'all? We just talk a lot.
Yeah.
And we've actually gone way over. We normally try to keep this to an hour, but we've just had such great conversation and such great questions.
I talked too much. I need to let her talk more.
No, you're doing great.
Okay. I just get very passionate about stuff. And,
some days it's me that's really passionate, but we've done a lot of work today, so I'm like kind of winding down. I'm a morning person, so when the sun starts going down, like I'm like meow, and I'm like heading towards it. So
isn't it cool? Like, I know, like, I've been very encouraged with YouTube, and because we put a lot of work. Like, we've been doing this for 2 years now, and I think we had in like January 2009, A&E, they found us on YouTube. So if you are a YouTuber out there, or somebody that like is wanting to do YouTube, but you're scared or afraid, I want to encourage you just to start. That if it's something that you really want to do, just start, because you don't know. I'm not going to say A&E's going to call you because you start a YouTube channel. But what I am saying is
people
that
are watching.
You don't know what opportunities and what things that you're going to learn about yourself without doing so. So do it. But we didn't have a lot of growth for a very, very long time. Like, we would do videos and I would spend like an hour filming a video and then another 2 or 3 hours editing the video. And then we would get like 100 views. And, you know, as somebody like you want to, I'm not going for the views, but when you put that much time and energy into something and then it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can explain it better probably?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. No, it's just, you know, it was very discouraging for a very long time. And so it was one of those, and it's the same thing with liquidation or building a business. You know, it's not a get rich quick, okay.
I got no get witch queen.
Witch cream.
It's no witch cream. This is not a witch cream. You can't just put the cream on it and then it just grows and you get money.
It's not a rich quick scheme.
It's not a get rich.
It's not.
Quick scream.
What is it? You're messing me
up. I don't know.
It is not something that gets you rich very quickly.
It's not.
It's something that requires perseverance. It's like starting a garden. You know, it is bedtime. It is. I'm sorry. But no, it takes time. And, you know, we just lost all of our squash plants out there to squash bugs, in our garden. And it's just a part of the process. You know, and that's the thing. I had a point.
Well,
and I
the
messed
thing
up.
is in life, we want to avoid the process. We want to avoid things that are hard.
Yeah.
It's like, because we live in such a microwave society that, especially the younger you are, the less patient you are, and the more you like think that you should just have it right now. It's like millennials, young people. I say young people, not just millennials. Young people, they get married. And then they go out and they rack up all of this credit card debt because they feel like they should have what their parents had, not realizing that it took 30 years or 20 years for their parents to get what they had in their house, right? So it's the same thing with Reese.
You made her cry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's the same thing with liquidation and YouTube and all this. Like, it's a process. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not a get rich quick
Scheme.
Right? Like and if you're a YouTuber out there watching and like all you talk about is how much money you're gonna make and you're not even giving accurate amounts, like tisk. People are
Tisk.
I don't know. I was gonna say shame on you, but I don't want to shame somebody. But and if you're a person watching a YouTube video out there and all they talk about is how much like this is gonna sell for, but not like actually walking through the process, you're leading people on. You're giving people a false sense of hope, and we live in a society that wants to escape their certain situations, and they're willing to spend all of the money that they have to get out of it. So I don't know how we got there.
Let's be like, if you're gonna have a platform, nurture that platform.
Yeah.
And be
a
leader, and be, yes.
It takes a while.
You can do it. Build it slow. And
slow and steady
organic.
wins the race.
Organically.
Aim for like 1%. If you can improve 1% a day.
Who told us that?
Lots of people.
Yeah, but there was somebody specific who said something.
Hey, Chris
Lynn.
Yeah. If you are a reseller, I will plug Chris here.
Yeah.
If you are a reseller and you're really looking to improve your systems and improve your business, then you're going to want to check out Chris with Daily Refinement. He does a lot of videos that are amazing stuff that is about business building, about building your business as a reseller.
Yeah.
He even has what is called a mastermind call. I think
we owe a lot to our business to his mastermind calls.
He helped me realize how bipolar, schizophrenic, it wasn't schizophrenic, it'd be bipolar, that I would get off on these like, I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. And helped me realize like how scattered I was with sourcing strategy and how detrimental it was to my business, because I'm like, oh, we're going to do this. And then that didn't work in a week. So I'm like, let's do this. And that didn't work in a week. Then we're going to do this. But I never finished the other things.
So if you really want, some strategy on how to run a reselling business, I mean, shameless plug, like we're going to go ahead and put him in there.
Check out Daily Refinement.
And his mastermind classes are definitely worth looking into.
Because it's like $12 a month in his Patreon. It's worth the money. I think when we were doing it, we were paying like $100 a month, and it was worth way more than that. But he has like daily calls to help, like to do different stuff. He doesn't do a lot of liquidation. He does other stuff, but as far as the business side of it, he's a smart dude.
He's great with like numbers and processes.
Yeah. So check him out, because
you know what? I'm pretty sure that the Thrifting Goomba said something, and so did somebody else.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Thrifting Goomba says, what type of pallet is the best for your first one?
The one you can go and you can physically look at. I don't know. It's a hard question.
The one that you have an idea of how you're going to move it. Like, there's not like a specific one to go for, but anything that you can do to reduce the risk, go with that one. If it's gonna lower your margins, but you have a manifest. Yeah. Like maybe that would be good.
Shelf pulls. Try and go with shelf pulls.
Or high or overstock.
I would try customer returns. There's a lot of damage stuff in there. Granted, there is some with shelf pulls, but those will go for a little bit more. But it's not as risky.
And if you're thinking about like, hey, this place that I'm going to has a lot of like Walmart return pallets, well then look up people who've bought those. Ask them. There are Facebook groups of people who buy stuff all the time, and say, hey, and see if you can find a thread, or even ask in there like, hey, what should I know about these specific types of pallets? And people will tell you, especially if they've had a bad experience. They will be quick to tell you.
And practical advice about what you can do after this video is, one, go to Google or Facebook and search for pallet liquidators near you. Once you find them, look at what type of pallets that they carry. Like, do they carry Amazon? Do they carry Home Depot, Walmart, Target? Those different ones. Figure out which ones that they carry, and then go to YouTube and search for Target unboxing, Amazon customer returns unboxing, to get an idea of what you should expect from those particular pallets, and look at if they do like totals, like if they added up like in hours, like we do totals of what we should expect to profit from those. I know Pallet Jacking does the same thing, but if they do that, look at those numbers, probably take a little bit off their numbers, and then look at, okay, this pallet costs $300. They said that they can make $800, but it's probably more close to like $600 or $700. So I can make $300 off this. So Beach Life.
They're cracking me up. Look, she's like talking about the unboxing high, and I'm like, I know that feeling.
We found I don't want to spoil it too much, but we have a vlog coming out. I don't know when, sometime this weekend, where we found a liquidator. Is a reseller like us, but he buys like truckload, and he sells pallets. And I was looking at Amazon customer return pallets today,
to buy one.
And there were 6 of them that were for sale, standing right there. I'm like, I want to buy some, but I'm like, I got pallets to unbox in my garage. So the struggle is real. That dopamine release is a real thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, has everybody else?
We're going to give like 5 more minutes, which means it's probably going to be 10. Because,
we have a hard time saying goodbye.
We're in the South. I don't know if I don't know if you ever heard of a Southern goodbye.
There's at least 5 of them.
Yeah, there's several goodbyes.
Before we go,
yeah.
Let's see. Jessica Shields wants to talk about taking photos for listings. We can do a quick thing, but there are a lot of YouTube videos out there for that. And good ones. There's
good lighting, and if you're listening on eBay, Facebook. I've done a video about taking pictures and stuff for Facebook. I've done that. I think it's called Tips to Selling Liquidation or something. I'll send it to you because you've messaged us on Facebook. But proper lighting is going to be the key now, because if you're listing on eBay, eBay has now integrated a feature in their photographs section that will white out the background. So it's important to have a white background. eBay does better with white backgrounds, but proper lighting.
Yep. And then Radio K was like, wait, y'all are going to be on A&E? Oh my, yes, we are. There's a show coming out called Extreme Unboxing on A&E. It airs Tuesday, August 4th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So yes, that will be there. Joe says it's going to be a double
2 episodes
premiere. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to be in this. I don't believe we're in the first episode. We are in the second episode. You don't need to apologize, Jessica.
Don't apologize for questions. That's what we're here for.
You help us keep the flow going also. The more questions there are, the easier it is.
Yeah, this is all, I mean, the name of the video is live Q&A. So, all questions.
Yep.
All the questions. Let's see. Ready OK made a picture box out of a cardboard box and white poster board. Smart. It'll work. It works. Let's see. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Is there anything we don't want to sell? I don't want to sell clothing. Not for any reason other than I don't like it.
Stuff from thrift stores.
Okay, so listen. At the beginning of the year this year, I'm just going to tell you this funny story because you could probably go back and verify all of this, but we were like, we want to expand our business. We want to have a growth mindset. Guys, we're going to lead by example, and we're going to do something we've never done before. And we're like, you know what? We should start thrifting. I don't know why we haven't done this, and we should do it. And so we're going to have you guys hold us accountable, and we're going to vlog the whole thing. So we go thrifting, and we are both there's that video that says, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to have a growth mindset. And then the next vlog that you see is us going thrifting. And by the end of the vlog, you can tell that we started the vlog and we were super excited and we're going to go do it. And the end of the vlog, we're just like, we didn't find anything.
It's like, I'd rather just pay somebody to shop for me because this sucks.
Joe walks up to me in a Goodwill and he's like, I know why we don't go thrifting. And I'm like, because we hate shopping. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I know. And so we're like, we're going to do it. So we went through 3 different thrift stores and we were just angry the entire time. So it turns out we don't thrift very well.
No. I'd rather just look at some pictures and click that little button.
I don't like clothing. I don't like auto parts. There are some people out there who do like auto parts, but I don't like auto
I think
parts.
if we're able to,
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't like getting auto parts on return pallets because there's so much return fraud when it comes to auto parts that people will like buy brake pads and they'll change their brake pads and send back the old brake pads and keep the new ones. So yeah.
And Joe just posted in here, if you were not here for this, we have merchandise that is coming out. We're gonna try and do some like limited edition shirts, but we don't really like the process of the make to order, like order to buy, make to order.
Those
order. You order it and then they make it.
I forget the different print on demand services.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
That a lot of YouTube people use. The quality is just cheap.
And so
and we want to support local business. We believe in supporting local business. So it may cost slightly more than what it may be, but it's just it's supporting somebody and not some CEO somewhere that's living all cush.
Mm-hmm. It's somebody that Joe knows personally, that he knew from when he was in college. So he wanted to support him.
And they're hurting right now because
COVID.
with COVID-19, you think all of the Little League sports are closed. And that was a big part. Like if you have a local like t-shirt or local uniform business, that they're struggling big time right now because all of the youth sports are canceled.
Yep.
Pretty much in a lot of places. And that's a big part of their business.
So we're trying to support local. We're trying to put money in local people's pockets. And on top of that, we just want really good quality. And we've bought from them before and like it. So this is not for you. That link, if you click it, it's just saying that you're interested so that when we get, the shirts printed and everything, I can contact all the people.
Well,
you do not have to pay for it when you send that. It's just saying, hey, I'm interested so that I can email you.
Yep. Like when we have designs and stuff,
yes.
You probably want to see what it's going to look like before you buy it. I know I would. We'll send you like a pink tie-dye shirt with a little bitty kitty cat on it with the family flips. No.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
That'd be weird.
That'd be kind of funny. Put some witch cream on it. I don't know.
Awkward silence.
You aren't saying nothing. So, this is goodbye number 2. So if you have any more questions, comments, concerns, feedbacks, you let us know and we will discuss it. That'll be the Halloween shirt. Witch cream. Hey. The words just come out.
Now you guys know. Now you guys know when you see us on those unboxings and we mispronounce words.
Yeah, I'm a lot like when I do my vlogs. Like he
didn't find the spider, Jessica. He didn't find it. It's scary in there.
She brings out the fun in me. I'm sure that you've probably noticed, like when I do videos, I'm trying to be more playful, like me, but I get serious. It's for people to understand what I said. I can get serious. So I like having her in unboxings and live videos because I have a lot more fun. It brings out the fun in me, and I'm sure you guys probably can sense it too.
He keeps me focused.
She keeps me like a little kid having fun. I don't know.
I'm like a little kid having fun. How many goodbye? Oh! 4. We're at 2 already, so.
I mean, if y'all keep asking questions, you're kind of like, just keep prolonging it, so just don't ask questions just to get more.
Okay, guys, for real. So, if you guys don't have any other questions, because it's been like 93 minutes.
It has. But there's still 49 people watching.
Why?
If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do that.
You should. Also, if you have not subscribed.
30 minutes and 10 hugs. You're right.
That's so true. Jessica's from the South.
Yeah, she is.
She knows.
You know. And but hit that like button. And if you're watching and somehow you're not subscribed, like I don't know how that works.
Smash it.
Like you're watching this long, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And, you know, we're not saying nothing.
Okay. All right. So it looks like we don't have any more questions. She said 4, and so I think she might be right.
That's 3. No, this is the third one. I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's good.
Awesome.
I think we're good.
Awesome. All right. Well, we love you guys.
We appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much. We really want to keep doing these because we think that they're really good to be able to have dialogue.
Yep.
I'll start working on something coaching wise, try to figure out what that looks like, and make sure that I let you guys know all of that. If you are not interested in t-shirts, but you still want to be involved with that, you can go ahead and click that link and put your information in there, because there is a box on there that says, do you want to receive emails from me? And if you click that, that'll be the first place that I send the information about coaching when I get that all situated.
Yeah.
So,
And I think we're trying to train the kids to be asleep by 9 o'clock. I don't know, it's not going to happen because the show comes out 9 p.m. Central Time. So the plan is to do live videos after the show airs on Tuesday night. So it'd be 9:30, except for the first one. It'd be 10 o'clock, which if you're on the East Coast, I'm sorry, that is very, very late. If you're in California, then it's like, you know, post dinner. But we're going to probably try and do some live videos on Tuesday nights after the show, so that you can ask us questions about the show, stuff that went on, and we can just have fun together.
it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you later.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.